tiny babies who need our help to improve their chances at a healthy life. They need a precious commodity, nature's perfect nourishment, mother's milk. The Oklahoma Mother's Milk Bank is a valuable resource that provides safe, human milk to sick and premature babies in neonatal intensive care units, babies whose mothers are unable to provide any or enough of their own milk.
I knew from day one that there would be problems when they told me she was 15.5 ounces. And then right around December 23rd, they called me and told me there was nothing else that they could do for her. And that's probably been the scariest moment of our NICU stay. She was put on a machine for her lungs after that, and they started giving her, they started out at 0.5 cc's of breast milk it was over 3 hours, and then slowly, week by week, they kind of went up from there. She had a major turnaround after they started the breast milk, and when she came home at April 11th, she was 5 pounds 8 ounces. I couldn't be more thankful for the women that have donated the milk. They've made the difference in my child's life.
So when they were born, of course, I was in shock and just post-surgery, and I didn't have any milk. And I remember really kind of hoping and planning on breastfeeding. When I had them, and the first, my first thought is like, okay, how I'm gonna get milk. And I'm very, very grateful to those women who donated their breast milk to the bank, to the donor bank, and because that just probably the most wonderful gift that a mother can give to her babies, and then to share with somebody else, because for critically ill infants and premature infants, they're in the NICU. This is the most natural food that Mother Nature intended them to have.
Physicians recognize that mother's milk can be one of the best medicines in the NICU.
I've been a neonatologist for some 30 years here in Oklahoma, and some of the changes that we have seen with the availability of donor breast milk has been the ability to start feedings quite early in our babies, particularly the critical premature babies. We are fortunate here in Oklahoma to have the availability of the Mother's Milk Bank to provide us milk for these babies here at the hospital, and particularly the babies with who are born prematurely. Well, it would be my hope that we would be able to provide all babies with breast milk, not only the babies that are in the NICU, but also healthy term babies whose mothers aren't able to provide breast milk, or who, for circumstances beyond her control, cannot breastfeed her child.
We have very good studies now and very strong science that supports the benefits of human milk nutrition for both full-term and preterm babies. So it's a wonderful thing that we have that here, and we should really appreciate and celebrate this great institution. It makes all the difference for so many babies.
The Oklahoma Mother's Milk Bank is an independent, nonprofit organization supported by our community and not a single institution, a guarantee of equal access to this treasured resource.
We are making a difference in the lives of Oklahomans, and as we expand and can provide to meet the need wherever it is.
Human milk from the Oklahoma Mother's Milk Bank is processed according to the guidelines developed by the Human Milk Banking Association of North America. After receiving a donation, the milk is identified with the name of the donor mother and logged into the database. Staff and volunteers then pool the milk from several mothers and pour it into individual containers. It is then pasteurized. A sample from each pool is analyzed for nutritional content. Each bottle is barcoded and labeled with protein and calorie content. vital information doctors need to plan optimal feedings for critically ill babies. Individual containers are stored frozen until ready for transport, a service regularly provided by the Oklahoma Blood Institute. Where does the Oklahoma Mother's Milk Bank get their milk? From caring Oklahoma mothers who generously share their extra breast milk.
I knew I wanted to donate, so whenever she was a week old, I started pumping because I knew I needed to save some milk for when I returned to work, and I thought if I saved too much, that'd be fine because I could just go ahead and donate it. She's happy to share her milk with other babies, aren't we? We're happy to share. Yeah, because she's big and growing, 14 pounds already at 5 months, yeah.
I couldn't be happier knowing that I've been able to give such a wonderful gift of breastfeeding to my own daughter and to be able to share that with others.
I fell in love with breastfeeding, and I was able to not only see the benefits that she was having from breastfeeding, but it just created such a special bond between her and I. And that's when I felt compelled to share some of those benefits with others in donating breast milk.
I was very blessed to have a supportive husband who supported me the entire time of exclusively pumping. He was always there with encouraging words and just rooting me on to keep pumping for the twins. And my whole family was very supportive, and I think that was a huge help because it can often get discouraging if you're not producing enough at a certain time, you know, because there were highs and lows a little bit.
I had my daughter and I was nursing, and I was a huge producer of milk. And when my daughter started daycare at St. Luke's, I showed up her first day of daycare, and I brought enough milk to last the entire week because that seemed like the thing to do. And as a little time progresses and I start to know the daycare workers a little more, they said, you have got to be donating this milk to a milk bank because you have too much milk.
You know, it's interesting to see people's response. I get people who ask a lot, wow, you know, what do you do with all that extra milk? And when I say, oh, I donate it, sometimes people laugh. They think I'm joking, and they go, oh, right. And I say, no, really, I do. and they say, what are you talking about? And I explain the process, and I explain Oklahoma Mother's Milk Bank. And I think they're just baffled right off the bat that that exists, but then almost immediately they're in awe of the concept.
Mothers who have lost their infants in an early death also donate.
My experience with the Mother's Milk Bank started a few years ago with my daughter, my first daughter. She passed away when she was born, and it was a gift that she and I could give to other babies to hopefully promote a better start for those babies.
Milk depots, sites for mothers to drop off their donations, are being developed across the state. Currently, they can be found in Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Bartlesville, Shawnee, and other locations planned across the state. Please check our website for current Milk Depot locations. The Oklahoma Mother's Milk Bank's high standards and extensive state outreach serves as an invaluable resource to both physicians and their tiny patients. Your support will help us continue our commitment to help babies not only survive, but thrive. Consider making a financial contribution, donating breast milk, or volunteering your time to the Oklahoma Mother's Milk Bank.
Спят усталые игрушки, книжки спят, одеяла и подушки ждут ребят. Даже сказка спать ложится, чтобы ночью нам приснится. Ты ей пожелай, баю-бай.